Afternoon, is me, Jamia, the IEP Coach. Yesterday, I came on and was just giving some little tidbits about the IEP writing process when I'm writing an IEP because I'm actually writing two IEPs actually. I talked about how I set the mood. I listen to jazz music. Yesterday, I lit a candle. Today, I lit some incense, so it smells really, really, really nice because I want to put myself in a relaxed mood because writing IEPs is my least favorite thing to do because they take a long time and there's so much that goes into writing IEPs. Yesterday, I shared with you a lot of the pre-work, gathering input forms from teachers, from the related service providers, from the parent. So having a parent input form is extremely, extremely helpful because you have documented information from that parent that you can then follow up with a phone call, because sometimes they put questions on it. So you can follow up with a phone call to check in with the parent. Um, and it's good to just have that physical documentation and then, follow up with a phone call. Also, including the nurse as well as guidance counselors because they are a part of the IEP team. And then also, they may need to contact the parent. They may need to contact the parent or get in touch with the parent, and they may have had a hard time getting in touch with the parent. So, having the IEP meeting allows them to meet with that parent because they know for sure, oh, the parent's going to be here and they can relay that information. And hello, Instagram. So, I'm here and I'm here with my Instagram. Sorry. Just so you know, if I'm turning my head, I'm looking at my Instagram as well. So that's a lot of pre-work to do in the beginning, and then taking all the teachers' input, summarizing it to put it in the IEP. I take the related service provider input, I write it exactly, I copy and paste it exactly how it is in the IEP because they are the expert in what they're doing. For instance, I'm not a speech therapist. I'm not a guidance counselor. I'm not a clinician. I'm not an OT. So, however they write the information in their reports, I put it exactly how it is in the student's IEP. Because it's a reason they worded things a certain way. It's a reason they worded goals a certain way. So I put that exactly how it is. Um, Also, let me see what else. So that's basically all of the pre-work, getting all those forms, getting everything um, together to put in the IEP. Now, when it comes time to write the goals for the IEP, again, if the student has related services, I write the goals exactly how the related service provider has it in their input form. And sometimes, depending on where you are, they will go into the system themselves and put the goals in themselves. And in some places, they send you their report, and you can just put it in exactly how they have it. So where I am, my clinicians who do therapy, group therapy, individual counseling, they go in themselves and put in their input. So I don't need to put it in. They put it in, but they also send it to me, send me their input as well. So that way I just have it for my files. But like speech OT, again, depending where you are, they may go in themselves, or you may just copy it how it is from their from the input form that they gave you. Now, when it comes to academic goals, I'm basically looking at the students' data. I'm looking at the testing data, quizzes, assessments, and I'm also looking at the data the teacher has given me in their input, so that way I can see, okay, do they still need comprehension goal, or is it more, oh, they just need help with fluency? Do they need help with the decoding? And then I would create the goals that way. But basically, the data that I get from input forms, that is what drives the goals. That's how I know what goals I need to put in the student's IEP. I'm not pulling them out of the sky. You don't ever pull goals out of the sky because you need to have data to back up, well, why do they need this particular goal? Why do they need a writing goal? Why do they need a behavior goal? Like, you need to have data to support that. And then you want to also make sure that your goals are measurable goals. So you don't just say, John Doe will increase comprehension by identifying main idea, character traits, and theme. And it's like, okay, well, what's the goal there? What is the target for him? So you need to say something like, oh, he'll be able to do that 80% of the time on 4 out of 5 trials. So that way, when you're doing your progress monitoring and you're doing probes or little mini assessments, basically have 5 of them, because he needs to be able to do that 80% of the time. So getting 4 out of 5 trials, that's 80% of the time. Being able to uh, identify main idea, theme, etc., depending on how you do the goal. But all your goals have to be measurable. It has to have a target percent. Now, some may say on 4 out of 5 trials, some might say 8 out of 10 trials. All of my goals, I always do it. My target is always 80%, because that is proficient. Because the goal is we want our students to be at least 80%. Proficient, at least proficient or higher. That's always the goal. Now, depending on the severity of the student's needs, your target could change from 80%, it may be 70%, or maybe 75%, or depending on behavior, if it's very, very severe, you may change it from 80% to the 70-75%, because it really depends on the kid, because you have to be realistic. Okay, if this student has severe ADHD and you have a behavior goal and you're saying, oh, he or she is gonna student will be able to focus on class with no more than 3 prompts 80% of the time, and they have severe ADHD, that may be hard for them. So you may need to say, okay, they're going to do it 70% of the time. Like, actually make the goal attainable, not too low where they easily can achieve it, but not too high where they can never achieve it. So that's just a little insight into writing the goals for students. You want to make sure they are measurable goals. So you don't just say, oh, they're going to be able to write an essay. Well, what parts of the essay? What is it? Is it citing evidence? Is it explaining their evidence? Like, you have to be clear in your goal, and you have to make sure it is measurable. So is it 4 out of 5 trials, 80% of the time? And then also, what are you going to use to measure that they are achieving this goal? So will it be bi-weekly probes? Will it be tri-weekly writing prompts? Will it be a behavior rubric? What are you going to use? So you got to include that in your goal, and then how often the progress will be monitored. So normally you do progress reports at every report card period. So they have the report card, and then they have their progress report on how they're doing with their goals. All right. So that is just a little insight into IEP writing, and more specifically today, writing IEP goals. Now, in some places, the case manager will write the goals for like behavior. But when I was emotional support, and I just about all of my students that were on my caseload, they had behavior goals. I also included the guidance, the clinician that did group therapy with them and individual counseling. I would also just talk with them to say, like, hey, what do you think about this goal? Even though I'm going off of the data from their behavior rubric, I'm still just touching base with them, so that way we can make sure we are doing goals that really will focus on them improving. Okay. So yes, so that's just a little bit of the behind the scenes of writing IEPs, and more specifically writing goals. So again, I set the mood. I don't know if you can hear my jazz music, but I have my jazz music. I had incense burning, but the incense burned down, because I need to be comfortable. I need to be relaxed, because IEPs take a long time to do. Just doing one IEP, you can be on that IEP anywhere from 2 to 3 hours just writing the one IEP. And I was writing 2. I had to write 2. So I needed to make sure that, I'm just relaxed and I'm calm, because this is my least favorite thing to do, because it takes so long. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. You can DM me on DM me on my Instagram page, the IEP Coach LLC. You can send me a message on my Facebook, the IEP Coach LLC, or you can email me, Jamilah, JAMILAH, at the IEPCoachLLC.com, and I will respond to you. Until next time, have a great, great day.